Good evening, Guardians, and welcome back to Tower Talk. I'm Ben, the other end of the microphone there. That's Brent. You know who we are. We're here on behalf of Short Pause. www.shortpause.com is the website. Let's check us out there when we get a chance. Follow us on Twitter at the Short Pause. On Tower Talk, this is our Destiny-focused video discussion series, Brent, where you and I get on here. We talk any and everything in the world of Destiny. Have a damn fine time doing it. More importantly, though, how are you this evening, fine sir?
Dude, it was one of those weeks, man, where we just decided to grind the hell out of Destiny and stayed up late multiple nights, but we got a lot done. And, it's been a busy week, and just glad we can finally sit down and talk about some things that we weren't able to talk about last week. We weren't sure we were going to be able to talk about this week, but we delayed the show one day so we can make an attempt at something, and we'll talk about that here in a moment.
Yeah, so it's been Black Armory's been on for a couple weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been able to really sink my teeth into it the way that I wanted to. So we got to spend a little bit of time this week though, farming for more powerful engrams and trying to juice ourselves up a little bit so we can kind of progress through the current end game that's going on with Black Armory right now. So that's what we're gonna talk about here, man. Let's talk about what's going on with Black Armory, our impression of the forges. As you alluded to, Brent, we finally got a chance to make our way through the first forge, the Volundr Forge, or however the hell you say it.
Mm-hmm.
So we made it through that first forge. We got a chance to play through that, made it to the end, successfully completed it. So we're all set and ready for the next one now, right? We're gonna get in there, guns blazing, and take out the next forge now. So Brent, get us started on this conversation, man. What do you want to talk about with the forges? Like I said, we finally got to get in there, and you had a chance to play the forges prior. You weren't able to complete it, but last night we were able to get in there with our good friend Fear the Beard. Went through there, we were able to conquer the forge for the first time. Got our hands on that hammerhead machine gun, and we're feeling real good about ourselves now. But hop in here, man. Tell me what you're thinking about the forges.
First of all, like you just mentioned, big shout out to Fear the Beard for kind of guiding us through the Volundr Forge. He is obviously much higher power than we are. I think he's at the 637 now or something along those lines. So
getting up there.
Yeah, he was able to guide us through that. And another shout out to Dark Shadow Wolf on Tuesday night. He hopped in there and we were rocking through, like you said, grinding for powerful engrams to rank our characters up and get us closer to where we need to be to successfully get through the first forge. Jacob, what's up, buddy? Jacob's in the chat tonight. But yeah, man, we finally got to hop into the forge and complete it successfully. It took us one failed attempt before we figured out what we were doing because you had not gone through the forge yet. We actually hopped on. We're like, okay, look, we'll hop on. We'll get Beard in here and we'll knock out the forge. And what we didn't realize is that you still had to go through multiple steps to unlock the forge for yourself. So we went in, did escalation protocol multiple times, tried to get that submachine gun, but we were unable to get that. But finally got to get into the forge, and we did really good. We were able to knock it out on the second attempt. Very, very difficult, but very, very fun, but had a blast with it. And like I said, once you figure out a good routine to get through it, it's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it definitely requires a little more like thought and teamwork than probably it looks at first blush. At least when you're at a lower power level, this is not an activity right now that you can just barrel right through.
Right.
Maybe if you're 640, 650, once you get up into that kind of range, like maybe you can start to breeze through these things a little bit easier. But where we're sitting at right now, like I'm sitting at 610. You're a little ways above me on that. But as a 610 guardian, this requires some thought. And I really got to be careful about what I'm doing here. I can't just run out guns blazing. I got to, use my abilities wisely. I got to stay around you guys as a team so we can revive ourselves. We really got to focus and hone in on the blue enemies that are running around that have those orbs that you use to power up the forge. So I think that's where a lot of teams fail is they waste too much time on the additional ads that are running around the area there. You really got to hone in on those blue enemies because you don't have a lot of time with the forge. It's a very fast-paced activity, and that timer is constantly ticking down. So you've got to really focus on those enemies that drop those orbs because you've got to get those things into that forge, get that thing ignited so you can move on to the next step. You don't have a lot of time to waste. So it's a balancing act between not letting too many ads to get in there and just overwhelm you it's a balancing act with clearing them out and making sure that you're also focusing on those blue enemies that drop the orbs. So I think there's a little bit more strategy than I was originally anticipating with this. Some horde modes are just that you just walk in there, you just shoot enemies, and that's that. But there's a little more thinking that goes into the Forge, and I like that. And what I like about this activity, Brent, is I think it is gonna hold a nice place in the end game scene here with Destiny. It's not an extensive long activity like a raid or even like a nightfall. It's an activity you can get in. It's very fast paced. You can knock it out in I don't know what's a full run take 10-15 minutes, something like that to get through a Forge. I mean the rounds are quick. You have a boss enemy at the end that comes out. So this is something that you can do over and over very quickly. And one of the things that I know the community is excited about it, and I agree with, is part of this whole deal is that Ada has these frames that you can get from her, and these frames are guaranteed Black Armory legendary drops for you. So what you do with these frames is you get them, you go and attack the Forge that's at hand, and if you're able to conquer that, you gain access to one of these new weapons, and you can constantly farm it for that god roll, for that roll that you're looking for on these weapons. So I think that this is something that's going to appeal very, very highly to the hardcore Destiny community in the end game here, because that's a big part of what we like to do. Get in there, grind for the weapons that we want, grind for the god rolls that we want. So we haven't had a chance to really experience that yet. We had the one frame that we completed with the Volundr Forge, but maybe you can shed some more light on this, Brent. But the frames that Ada's selling right now are for the new Forge. They're not for this Forge. So I don't know if this is on a some type of a rotation where you can only focus in on certain Forges each week. From what they were saying when they were originally talking about the Black Armory Forges, it sounded like they were going to be on like a 4-week rotation. It was going to be, they've only unveiled 2 of the Forges so far. We have 2 more coming over the course of the Black Armory season here. So it sounded like it was going to be something similar to maybe Prison of the Elders, where you'd have a weekly rotation of the end boss or different locations that you'd be able to tackle. So I don't know if it's just right now we're not doing the Gofanon or the Gofanon Forge, so we don't have access to that kind of stuff. And next week it'll be the new Forge, or whenever the next Forge starts. I don't remember what the calendar says, but maybe you can shed some more light on how the mechanics of this system works.
I know about as much as you do, because honestly, because we weren't able to actually do the Forge, I wasn't focusing too much on what was going on. But I do remember them saying once all the Forges are activated, they will be rotating out. Now, because there's only 2 Forges, I'm assuming next week the focus will come back to Volundr, unless the next Forge is set to open. I can't remember if it is next week or not, but that is something we'll pull up here in a second. But no, I mean, it's just this, like you mentioned, this is just something I want to be able to get into and grind away and find that perfect roll. I had a lot of fun with it. I want to go back to what you were mentioning about the strategy that's involved here. There really is a lot of strategy. And as much as I like that they have matchmaking for this event, this is still something you want to jump in with friends, people that that you can communicate with, because it is very, very important. You have limited amount of time. You want to coordinate your supers. If you've got a super that's good for ag control, those are super useful in here. And then, we had the Rift going for a little while last night. That helped out a lot. Beard brought his wall that reloaded our guns while we were shooting at the boss. A lot of coordination involved, and I really, really like that, especially for an event that goes by so quick and is super intense and super tactical. Had a lot of fun with this last night. But yeah, I'll be curious to see how this rotates next week, if the new Forge is coming out, or is it going to go back to the Volundr Forge where we can get another frame there. There are some sweet-looking guns, dude. I was going through the app to see some of these guns that we were going to be able to work towards. I really want that auto rifle. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. I'm really excited to see how this unfolds over time. We still have to rank ourselves up. I mean, obviously, Fear the Beard, he's a much higher ranked player, and we needed every second of that final round to defeat the boss, but it was worth it. It was a lot of fun, and like I said, I'm looking forward to like grinding back, getting more power, and doing what we've been doing, working towards some of the pinnacle weapons that are tied to events that will give us those challenge or those powerful engrams to rank our characters up.
Yeah, definitely. And just going back to that strategy again, that's one of the things we were able to do, as you alluded to, Brent, is with the 3 of us working together, we were like, all right, this is what we're gonna do for the boss. We're gonna utilize both the Titan Rally Barricade, which auto reloads your weapons, and the Warlock with the Lunafaction boots. and a rift, which also reloads your weapons. So we were just kind of rotating back and forth between those two things, especially during the boss wave. Drop a rift, get in there, pull out your heavy machine gun or whatever the case may be, pull out your power weapon and just unload on this dude and watch your gun constantly reload, or your auto rifle, whatever you're going to use to reload and shoot into the boss. When the rift runs out, Titan drops the rally barricade. Same thing, keeping those reloads going. And by the time you get through that cycle, you're almost ready to drop another rift and constantly reload your weapons again. So we were really able to just constantly fire on the boss, whether it's with the primary, special, whatever. We were able to just fire our weapon into this guy, and with the limited amount of time that we have, like that strategy worked really well, and it was good to see our plans come to fruition and kind of work out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. It was a good time. I'm really looking forward to get back into this.
Yeah, I tried to jump in there just with the matchmaking just to see how it would go. I was curious. I was like, all right, I know I'm a little under-leveled for this activity. Jumped in there with some other Guardians, and I was able to make it to the second wave with a couple of random guys, but that was as far as I got. It gets rough in there, especially if you're not able to work with your teammates and really, like you said, coordinate those activities. So there's a good bit of fun in there when you're able to coordinate with your teammates. And if I had to guess, I would imagine that as you get up in rank, it's probably a lot easier to jump in there with randoms and do the matchmaking. Once you get to that 640, 650 level, you'll be in there. It'll be a little bit easier for you to clear through these waves. But right now, with the power level we're at, like we were talking about earlier, it's much more beneficial to be in there with a group of people that you can coordinate with and really get into there. So coming off of our discussion last week, Brent, we were talking about where the community's kind of divided about where we're currently at with Black Armory and whatnot. And, for the most part, it seems like the hardcore Destiny fans really appreciate the kind of end game grind that Black Armory has brought. But I think there's still a subset of fans that are in the middle of this that are not entirely on board with the type of grind that Black Armory requires, and then the casual players are the more casual players. I don't know that there's a casual player of Destiny. It's very hard to do. So the more casual Destiny players still trying to find their way into the Forge. So where we sit right now, Brent, after a couple weeks now that we've got to experience that first Forge, we've got to make our way through it. Do you like the way that Bungie has constructed this? Is there something, in hindsight now that you think they could have done better? Where do you feel we are with Black Armory right now?
Quick shout out to VOX Insanity and Flaro. They're both in the chat joining us tonight. Welcome. For me, dude, this fits my schedule. This fits my style of playing Destiny 2. We grinded for powerful engrams during the week. We got to where we needed to be. We got a bit of luck with Fear the Beard. He was able to get us through there, but I felt more powerful this time than I did the previous time, and that's the point. I want to grind, and I'm going to grind some more this weekend and next week, get more powerful engrams, and then maybe you and I can get in there with somebody else, and we'll be the one that'll carry the other people through. But I know this fits exactly my style of play, man, and if I'm not powerful enough, I'm going to go back and do my strike missions. I'm going to go out and do Crucible and knock out those weekly and daily challenges, and I'm also going to be working towards those pinnacle weapons. So this all fits into what I'm doing every single week, working towards something. I'm working towards pinnacle weapons. At the same time, I'm also working towards being able to do the Forge. Totally fits my style and what I love about Destiny.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. And my feelings haven't changed largely from last week. Once again, I still understand where people are coming from in terms of not being able to get into this content on day one or experience it right off the bat. But I also stand by the fact that this is a different type of content delivery system than we experienced previously, and Bungie has stated that on numerous occasions. This is going to be different. This is going to be different. I see Deej talk about it all the time. Mm-hmm. And we have to get used to this brave new world where when we get a content update, it's no longer here's the content dropped to you all on day one, and this is what you're going to do for the next 3 months. The Black Armory, we still have not seen half of what this content has to offer.
Right.
This is something where we're going to constantly see stuff being unveiled to us throughout the weeks here leading up to the next expansion in the springtime. So we've still got a lot to come from Black Armory, whether it's exotic quests like the Last Word. Who knows what other secrets are this thing holds? There's things I have in my inventory or things that I've seen that I have no idea what they pertain to. So
Right.
I mean, there's different secrets that still are yet to be discovered. I'm sure there's more that are going to be unveiled. We only have 2 of the 4 forges that are active right now. They just dropped a raid as well, which of course we have not experienced yet. So that's something that's still on our docket that we're gonna have access to. So it's really going to be on us as players to get to just rewire the way that we think about downloadable content in a Destiny game. At the same time, though, I still do stand by the fact that Bungie needs to think about that as well, and they need to realize that this is a different type of content, and maybe they didn't get everything perfectly right this first time, but they can take this feedback, implement it with Joker's Wild, implement it with Penumbra moving forward, and hopefully everybody will be happy in the end. But for the most part, I feel like right now that people have had a couple weeks to consume this content, I think they're happy with where Black Armory is at right now. And I like I said, man, I really feel like the Forge fits a nice niche in the end game that people are looking for. It's something where we can hop into if we don't have a ton of time. Like, maybe I want to hop into Destiny and I only have an hour to play. Like, I can get in there. I could play the Forge a whole bunch of times over the course of that hour and gain access to an element of the end game with Destiny here when I don't have those 3-4 hours to sit down and play the game. So I think this is gonna occupy a nice niche. It's gonna really feed into those people that love searching for the god rolls and that love fast-paced, high-octane activities. So I really like the Forges, man. Looking forward to playing some more of them. Can't wait to see the other Forges. One other thing I was thinking about with this is I don't even know how to get to the other Forge. Does the game have a quest or something that tells you how to do this? I didn't even notice it. If it's in there.
I thought I remember hearing. Obviously, this is nothing that I was like directed to in the game, but I had to. I seen it on social media and on Reddit. I believe it's on Nessus. I think that's where I believe that's where the next one is. It might be Nessus or Io, but there's somebody you have to kill, or somebody appears and then it starts the quest or something along those lines. I can't confirm that. It was just I don't have anything in my pursuits tab or anything that pertains to like here's where the next forge is. So I'm assuming it's something we have to go out and find. Maybe it's something the community has to work together to find. But I believe I read that it's on Nessus. There's something we have to do on Nessus to begin that next quest.
Yeah, there's definitely something on Nessus. In fact, they mentioned it in this week at Bungie, which we'll talk about in a second here. There's some high-value target you've got to eliminate on Nessus. So yeah, unless I missed it, the forges are a little bit mysterious, maybe a little bit obtuse with how to get them going and get them started. I need to pay more attention to the director or what's in the game here. I don't know if I missed something or missed a cue. Maybe
I didn't look at
up.
that. Yeah, I didn't look up in the corner to see if that one little thing there says where to go. I probably should have looked at that.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I did not look at.
So we'll have to table our conversation on the obtuseness of the Black Armory forges, but they do seem very mysterious, like you said, very community driven in that. So that's another kind of barrier to entry. You've got to kind of scour the web to figure out how to get into these things. If that's the case, like I said, we'll go and check that again. But who knows?
You know what I love, dude? And I'm sorry to cut you off. You know what I love? No. Jacob's in the chat and he's like, "Guess what, dude?" I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "I got Black Talon." Everyone's getting exotics. Everyone's getting Black Talon. I'm so happy for all of you guys getting exotics that are awesome.
Dude, I just got Black Talon as well, and that thing's sweet. I really like that sword.
Dude, that pissed me off the other night. We'll get back on track here in a second. But here we are, okay? I think I've gotten the Oath Keeper. That's the only... Oh, I mean Thunderlord if you want to count that. But Oath Keeper is like the only real true Forsaken thing that I've gotten so far. And everyone's talking, I'm playing online, and everyone's talking about, oh, I got this, I got that. You've gotten some good stuff. And as I'm playing, Dark Shadow Wolf's like, oh, Black Talon just dropped. I'm like, oh, that's great, dude. I still haven't gotten anything. I did get the Lunafaction ornaments. I don't use Lunafactions because it's not a hunter piece of equipment, so that's useless. And then you log on. And you're like, hey, man, there's something going on. I got a bunch of stuff at the Postmaster. I'll be right back. You go there. You have an exotic engram just sitting in your Postmaster. You don't even know how you got it, dude.
My guess is it came from Escalation Protocol. No idea how it got there, though.
And then after the stream ended, I'm baking goods. We'll talk about the baking goods stuff in the dawning. And I get all the cookies and baking done. And I go to Ava, and she's like, she has a bounty where if you get all that done, you actually get a powerful engram from her. And I'm like, oh, sweet. So I go see her and grab it. What do I get? Radion Flux. The exotic chess piece from like the first week of Destiny 2 when it launched, dude. I was like, come on. It's 622, super high power. I get a year 1, season 1, week 1 exotic, dude.
Dude, it's got new armor perks on it though.
Dude, that's for the Arcstrider. I don't use Arcstrider, man. Come on.
The universe is trying to tell you things here. So you should be using a warlock first and foremost. That's why you're getting the Luna faction ornaments. So the Traveler is trying to talk to you, Brent, and you're just completely ignoring it. And they're telling you, hey, dude, use the Arcstrider class. Use the Arcstrider class.
I'm not using that class, bro.
We're handing you a 622 chess piece. That's perfect for this class. Give it a whirl.
We'll see. We'll see if I get that Seed of Light. We'll see if the Traveler's like, here's that Seed of Light real quick. Go unlock the Arcstrider. Get that final subclass now. But, man, it was infuriating the other night, man. Everyone in the chat was talking about how they got Black Town. Everyone's getting Queensbreaker. And I'm just like, I'm over here with Radiant Flux. Hell yeah, dude. Lucky me. Continue. I'm sorry. I digress.
You got some good stuff. Haven't you got the Cerberus?
I mean, I got the Cerberus. I don't use the Cerberus.
You get the Lord of Wolves, right? You got a few exotics in the mix.
Come on, man. That's not the stuff I want, bro. Man.
Dude, you are the biggest Lord of the Wolves advocate I know. I mean, you use that gun constantly.
Yeah, right up there with Edge Transit.
Yeah. Yeah. I have had some access to some cool stuff. The one thing that eludes me right now is those Geomag stabilizers. I really want to get my hands on those, and those things are elusive, to say the least.
Yeah.
Armor, just exotic armor in general, is very elusive right now.
Yeah. Kind of like everything, every exotic from Forsaken apparently is elusive for me, so that's awesome.
Yeah. So, we'll have to keep grinding, man.
I'll keep grinding.
Hopefully, you too will have an exotic engram drop on the Escalation Protocol battlefield. So, which by the way, Escalation Protocol was a lot of fun this week. I didn't think we were gonna end up playing it, but we did because I hadn't completed that Forge quest yet. But we hadn't actually, or I personally hadn't done that one before. I hadn't encountered that boss. Hadn't played that one. Yeah, but that's a pretty intense match. And like I said, we didn't get our hands on the machine gun yet. Maybe I'll get a chance to get in there a few more times for the week wraps up. But yeah, Escalation Protocol is rad, man. Really like that. All right, so moving on from there. So Black Armory, not the only thing that's going on right now, Brent. We have the Dawning. It's active right now as well. So this is the seasonal, Christmassy, winter-themed Destiny event that comes around every single year. And this Dawning is a much different Dawning, and it's propelled first and foremost by Eva Levante and her baking oven that she's coming to this version of the Dawning with. And I gotta tell you, man, I really like this. I'm really having a lot of fun with the Dawning. So the basic crux behind it is this: Eva's come back to the tower. We're celebrating the Dawning. This year, she's not bringing shaders and different things that she used to bring previously. Like, she was our kind of outfitter in Destiny 1 in the tower, if you remember. You go there and get shaders and emblems and all that kind of stuff from her. So that's not a role that she needs to play any longer. So this year, she comes to the tower in the Dawning, and she brings her baking oven with her. And there's all these different ingredients that you can mine from across the game. So you get different ingredients for killing different kinds of enemies. Those are like your common ingredients. And you get these rare ingredients which seem to be tied to the type of weapons that you're using to kill enemies. So so as you're out there, you're battling enemies and collecting all these different ingredients. You can combine these into this oven that Eva gives you, and out pops a baked treat. And you take these baked treats and they go to the different vendors around the solar system, and they give you things in return. So one of the things I really like about the baking is that they don't tell you the recipes for these things. So you have all of these ingredients, and you just got to start combining things to see what happens. And if you combine things and it's not a special recipe, you end up with a burnt edge transit. And those are the things that you take to Raul, the Cryptarch, because that's what he likes. So give him a burnt edge transit.
He loves them.
Those burnt edge transit cookies are hottest over at the Cryptarch station. So you bring those over to him, he takes those, and then he gives you a package for those. So it's been fun, man. I know there's recipes out there, and you can check them out if you want. I personally just been going through trying to combine stuff, see what happens, try to find the recipes for myself, and found a good bit of them. I think I've got 5 or 6 to go. to unlock the whole thing there. But having a lot of fun with that. And there's bounties associated with it. Like you said, there's powerful engrams if you do the weekly bounty. There's yeah, just there's different quests associated with it as well. And the one thing that the Dawning does that I think is really interesting, it encourages you to play all aspects of the game.
Yes.
It doesn't shoehorn you into one activity.
Right.
So like Festival of the Lost was awesome. And it gave us a brand new activity to participate in, so that's what made that one special. But the Dawning, while it doesn't have a new activity for you to participate in, it just you participate in the Dawning by playing Destiny whatever in any way you want to. So whether it's Crucible, Gambit, PvE, the Forges, whatever you want to do, you're constantly earning this essence that you use to bake these goods, and you're constantly participating in this activity with everything that you do. So really enjoying that so far. I still got a few notches I got to check off in order to unlock that Sparrow. Now you've got your hands on it. That Sparrow's super cool. So that's definitely one of the crowning centerpieces that people are shooting for with this activity. But Brent, let me get your thoughts on the Dawning, man. What's your thoughts on this and how it compares to what we've seen both in events prior and Dawnings in particular in the past?
You know, much like the Festival of the Lost, this just adds a new layer. It adds a freshness to the Dawning. I actually like if you go stand by Ava, there'll be at one point she'll be like, if you're looking for shaders, you've come to the wrong place. I can't help you with that anymore. It's funny that she says that, but no, yeah, it's cool, man. I like how you bake all your goods, and like you said, you're rewarded with these items in just about every aspect. I mean, certain enemies you kill will give you a certain like recipe, and then how you kill them, you know, what weapons you're using, which element of damage you're using will result in what type of recipe or ingredient that you get. And so you're just constantly stockpiling this. Once you get all the recipes completed and you turn everything over to all the different vendors, you'll be able to actually masterwork your oven, which reduces the price and the cost of all the ingredients to make cookies, and then you can start focusing on the quest for the sleigh and all the glimmer perks that come with it. So I mean, you're gonna start once you get all the items delivered. Now you're gonna really start cooking stuff up constantly, because like I said, if you're out doing events, everything that you do, everything that you take part in is constantly giving you recipes. So you're always going to have a bunch of ingredients. And yeah, then now the focus is just working on the sleigh. You know, I've got the avalanche. I want to get some different variations of it. But no, it's been a lot of fun, man. It's festive. It's fun. I don't think it's I don't think like I wish there was more of a pinnacle weapon. Like I think the Avalanche is it's a nice machine gun, but I still prefer using, you know, the Thunder Lord and some of these other ones. I still think those are much better guns. So the Avalanche isn't quite up there with like the horror story in terms of like that rarity, that exotic feeling to it, but it's still a fun gun. But it's more about the baking and ranking up, getting your Slayer where it needs to be. It's just there's a lot to do. It's very, very cool. It's just another way to earn powerful engrams. It's a lot of way to grab some exotic items that might not be available, that won't be available once it ends. So it keeps you involved. It gives it relevance. It gives it some value, and I dig it, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about the Avalanche. So the Avalanche is one of the first things you unlock when you get in there, and like you said, there's different roles you can get for this gun though.
Yep.
And so what do you do to get the different Avalanche roles? What activities do you have to complete from Eva? Because I know I got a second one doing something. I'm not sure what I did. Do you know what you got to do to keep getting this gun?
I got it from Zavala when I took him his baked good. Yeah. So I've just been constantly making those and taking those to him and hopefully getting a drop. I don't know if it drops in the field or if it'll drop during a mission or whatnot, or if you complete bounties. I'm not sure. I haven't seen it yet. I've completed quite a few bounties and I have not gotten the Avalanche from it. So I'm still constantly because now at this point I can just bake goods for whoever. I'm just, like I said, just constantly baking goods. I'm gonna keep making the ones for Zavala and hopefully get a drop from him there.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to actually use the Avalanche yet, so I don't have an opinion on the gun itself. But some of the rolls look pretty interesting. I got a decent one on it right now, but I do want to try to get some of the more powerful rolls, like maybe that Rampage one would be ideal for this gun. But it's nice that it's legendary. So yeah, obviously obviously it's not going to be the type of pinnacle weapon that something like the Thunder Lord is, but to be able to free up that exotic slot if you have to, and still be able to pull out a machine gun, definitely can be useful if you get something with like Feeding Frenzy and Rampage like that. That could be a nice combination on this gun moving forward. So yeah, So some cool stuff going on with Donnie. The Eververse stuff is awesome as well. The new emotes, the multi-person emotes, the ghost with the deer antlers or the snowman sticks. There's some cool stuff in there to get out there and earn, and obviously you'll earn those double engrams throughout the entirety of this event. So we'll have that to look forward to. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with the Dawning, having fun with the Forges. There's a lot of cool stuff to do in Destiny right now as we close out this year into the holidays.
Ooh, Jacob has Feeding Frenzy and Rampage on his.
Very, very nice.
That's hot, man.
It's a hot roll on there. All right, so let's move on into the this week at Bungie, Brent. There's a couple things to bring up. Not a terribly long this week at Bungie, but just a few things that we'll mention here. So we've got some issues they're investigating with the Black Armory. So if any of this stuff is on your radar, just keep in mind that they are working on this. There's a issue with the 24-hour completion with the new raid Scourge of the Past. So they're currently investigating an issue where qualifying players were not properly rewarded the Scourge of Nothing emblem, nor the associated best of the best triumph for completing the raid within 24 hours. Are we going to get the best of the best one day, Brent? Are we going to actually be able to jump into a raid within the first 24 hours and beat that thing?
I'll let the chat answer that.
All right, that's a hard no for now. Once addressed, players will be properly credited and receive appropriate rewards. Revive tokens, which I believe is also related to raid stuff. I think that's the only activity that has revive tokens, right?
My understanding, yes.
We are currently investigating an issue where tokens are not removed appropriately when reviving teammates. That sounds like something that people would be excited about. This issue has been present since the launch of Destiny 2. Now, it could just be our RNG, Brent, but I don't remember ever being in a raid and reviving somebody and be like, oh man, my revive token's still there. So this glitch has not made its way over to Short Pause. I can assure you of that. Our revives were taken as they should be anytime we use them in a raid. This issue has been present since the launch of Destiny 2, but reproducing the issue for investigation has proven difficult. In Scourge of the Past, however, this seems to be occurring much more frequently. If you have encountered this issue, please report a post in the help forum, and then hopefully Bungie can get their hands on that. Missing weapon frames. This is no bueno. We are currently aware of an issue where weapon frames may be lost from inventory. We have identified the cause and are currently developing a fix. Until resolved, we recommend holding only one weapon frame from a specific forge in inventory at any given time.
That's key. That's something you want to make sure you're telling people, telling your friends, get that out there. Only hold one weapon frame from a specific forge in your inventory at any given time, because there's a good possibility you're going to lose them.
Yeah, so when we finally do unlock that Gophanon forge, we got to remember to just take one of those weapon frames at a time until they fix that issue. And this is, speaking of that, Brent, here's what we were talking about in terms of Nessus earlier. So for high-value targets, to unlock the Gophanon forge, players must defeat a high-value target on Nessus for a specific quest step. Currently, only the player who lands the finishing blow is credited with defeating the enemy. We are currently developing a fix for future updates. So that obviously sucks. If we're in a fire team, we're trying to unlock the forge together. If you kill the high-value target, you get credit for it, but I'm not going to get credit for it. So we'll have to go back and kill the high-value target again.
Assuming there's nobody else around, too.
Assuming there's nobody else around. Yeah. So that's brutal. This is another issue that hopefully you are not running into, but if you are, take note. We have identified an issue where ballistics logs and modulus reports do not recover to the postmaster. We are currently developing a fix for this issue, targeted to release in January. Until resolved, the player should ensure they have the appropriate space in their inventory under both pursuits and consumables. So if you are doing the forges and you are collecting ballistics logs and modulus reports, please make sure that you have the proper space in your inventory. These may not recover to the postmaster, and that would be obviously high on the suck list.
Some of those are pretty bad for people that are really grinding. Because when you grind, like you're focused, man. You're knocking stuff out. You're constantly jumping back in, and you're not checking your inventory. You're not checking your pursuits and your consumables, and those things can fill up quick, dude. Those things can fill up really fast, and if you're not paying attention, if you're in that mode, you're like, okay, look, I got 3 hours to grind this stuff out, and you start grinding, you don't have the room, and you're losing all that stuff. That's like hours of time if you're not paying attention that you've lost.
Yeah, definitely. So,
oof.
So please pay attention to these issues if you are experiencing them, and perform these workarounds to make sure that this does not become an issue for yourself. Brent, I don't know what the hell a fastidious miser is, but there's currently an issue where some players are unable to unlock the fastidious miser triumph. My gosh. Even when fulfilling requirements. We've identified the root cause, but this issue will not be addressed next week. We are currently planning a fix to be deployed in January. So, if you're somebody going for the fastidious miser triumph, maybe wait until January. Don't know what the hell that is. I'll have to look into what that triumph entails.
Well, you can tell Bungie's getting ready for the holiday break because they're like, well, we'll take care of it in January. Well, we'll see it in January.
Yeah, we'll see you in January. All right, so that's some of like the main Black Armory issues that are going on right now. We also have a preview of 2.1.3. So this is an update that is deploying next week. So this will address various issues as well as bring a few minor quality of life updates into the fold. So definitely some interesting stuff in here. Players under 600 power will begin to receive higher powered rewards when completing director challenges. So this is going to go hand in hand with what they did last week when they brought those more prime engrams to the people under 600 as well. So Bungie really making an effort to get those people underpowered up to a level where they can be a factor during endgame activities. So nice to see. I think people that aren't at this level yet will appreciate that. They're fixing an issue where players did not receive the Harbinger's Echo Sparrow when destroying all Ahamkara eggs in the Dreaming City. Fixing an issue where players who joined an in-progress Forge activity would not receive rewards. That sucks. Fixing an issue where weapon frames would be removed from inventory when completing a different Forge. So definitely some kinks to work out with these Forge activities.
Big time.
They have a fixed plan for 1,000 voices on PC. They're fixing an issue where Season 5 shaders dismantled slowly. Heaven forbid that be a thing anymore. Fixing an issue where players who did not earn the Crucible Solemnity shader could not complete the Crucible badge. Fixing an issue where players could not retrieve clan XP rewards from Hawthorne under certain circumstances. Also, a big thing coming next week is that Veterans of the Hunt bundle. Yep. Once update 2.1.3 has been deployed, players should expect to receive this package later in the day. Stay tuned for updates. Once again, this is that bundle, Brent, for people that originally purchased Forsaken up until October 5th or whatever the case may be. I don't remember what the cutoff date was for that, but you get some new exotic emotes, new shader, new emblem, so some cool stuff for veterans of the franchise. Moving on from there, Brent, let's talk some Crucible activities.
Yeah,
so,
buddy.
First and foremost, happening right now, going for 2 weeks, Mayhem has returned, and it is making its claim in the Crucible right now. So right up until Christmas, you will be able to hop in there and do Mayhem stuff. I'm wondering if this is going to be a good location to work on your grenade launcher kills for your mountaintop quest. So. So this could go 2 ways. Now, obviously, with everybody popping supers constantly, it's going to be harder to kill Guardians who are in their supers. But by the same token, if you're using something like Play of the Game or one of these other grenade launchers that go in your heavy, you're going to have access to a lot more ammo with Mayhem. You're going to be able to fill up Play of the Game a lot more often than you would in a regular Crucible match. So this could be the spot to go in and get your mountaintop kills done. You on that quest step yet, Brent? Have you started this at all?
What was the first step? The first step was
get to Brave in competitive.
No, I don't believe. Maybe I am. I'd have to look. I haven't. That's the one pinnacle weapon I have not started working towards yet. I'm focused right now on Loaded Question. I'm also working on the Nightshade a little bit too. So those are the ones I've been focused on.
Yeah, I want to get my hands on Nightshade too. That was a good weapon. Glad to see it back in year 2. But yeah, it's definitely one of the things we're gonna work on here in the coming weeks is getting a squad together for competitive and going there and just see what kind of progress we can make. The big one though is we were talking about this last night, Brent. We knew Iron Banner was around the corner. We now know when it's coming back. Starting on Christmas Day. It's a treat for us. It's the best present we could have asked for on Christmas. But December 25th to January 1st, Iron Banner will return. Yeah. And it returns with some cool stuff. So Lord Saladin is visiting during the dawning, but isn't coming for cookies. He's not coming for the cookies, Brent. He's come to oversee the power-enabled combat of the Iron Banner. With Season 5, you have new armor to earn and 2 Year 1 weapons returning to the fold with random rolls. Nice. So we got the So we got the weapon pool increasing. Obviously, we'll still be able to go for those god rolls on those Iron Banner guns, which are eluding me up to this point. Definitely want to get in there and grind some of those out. And we have this new armor, which honestly looks badass, man. I really like the way this armor looks. It's very sleek, but it has a kind of a just a dark fantasy aspect to it as well. It's kind of futuristic and dark fantasy all at the same time. So I really like the way this stuff looks, man. Definitely looking forward to get my hands on this. What's your thoughts on this armor set?
Oh, I think it's sexy. I think it looks really good. And I'm not gonna lie, I actually think the Warlock one looks pretty good. Yeah. I mean, I know you guys are trash, but I mean, I absolutely like the look of you guys. Dress good. You guys are terrible. You're there for looks, though, and I give you guys kudos. That's a good-looking outfit. What's up, Lord Tipsy? Badass Lord Tipsy's in the chat. What's up, buddy?
What's up, Tipsy? And then, of course, Brent, like we mentioned, outside of the armor, the other big update here is we had 2 new guns get our hands on because we have a new emblem and a new shader as well associated with this Iron Banner. But I believe the submachine gun is Hero's Burden. I believe that's what that thing was called.
I believe
so. Not 100% sure. But the Hero's Burden, or whatever the submachine is called, it will be returning. And I know that hand cannon is Criminal's dagger, so that is back as well with random roll. So love to see kind of dipping back into the Iron Banner pool there and bringing back some favorite weapons with some new rolls on them. Looking forward to that. Bounties will also function as they did at the end of Season 4, which I think is a good thing. I think they were in a pretty good spot there. Granting powerful rewards and unlocking rewards for direct purchase from Lord Saladin. Well, that's not it, Brent. Also during Iron Banner, Double Valor will be enabled December 25th through December 28th, and then Triple Valor after that.
Oh, my.
28th through January 1st. So if you are out there grinding for your Redrix's Broadsword still, or you're just trying to get towards that God Roll Wishbringer that Saladin's holding, like this is a good week to do it. So how excited are you to get back into the banner, man?
I'm always excited. Apparently, I should be trashing Warlocks. Sorry, Tipsy. That's my bad, bro. No downvotes, man.
Don't encourage that kind of behavior. Come on.
No, dude, I love Iron Banner. I love Iron Banner. It's always a challenge. There's always some intense matches. I'm hoping you and I can get some better matchmaking now when we go in there and play. Because typically, man, I don't know what it is. If I play solo or if you play solo, we're out there getting wins. We're doing real well. And then as soon as we come together, it's like the matchmaking goes, let's just put these guys with hot garbo and put them up against a high-tier clan. It's just like we just get housed. And, I mean, obviously it's because I'm trying to carry you and the rest of the team, so it's a little bit harder for me. But it's just it's a challenge. But, I mean, I love Iron Banner, dude. It's where power matters. The people that put the time into the game, they get rewarded for their efforts. They have an advantage. The armor sets look awesome. I love collecting the armor. I just like I love I still love the bounties, even though they're a little too easy now. Except for the wins, apparently. Unless we're playing, solo, then it's okay. But I love the bounties. I love getting the armor. The armor looks great. So it's Iron Banner is just awesome. But then there's that Valor, the double and triple Valor. I got to keep an eye on that, dude. I got some work to do.
Yes, sir. Indeed. I got to see where I'm at on the broadsword quest. I'm kind of right in the middle of that one. So see if I can maybe knock out a few more things and work towards that Valor reset for that.
Yes, sir.
All right, so a couple final things we'll touch on here, just some issues that the live team is looking at. Eva's Holiday Oven and Eververse Baker's Bundles. Dawning ingredients required to create cookies, including those purchased for Bright Dust from Eververse, will be removed from players' inventories when the dawning ends on January 1st. Makes sense. So if you are out spending your hard-earned Bright Dust on these things, make sure that you utilize them or they will be removed from your inventory come January 1st. Players cannot make Burnt Edge Transit cookies after discovering all other recipes and will become blocked from completing Hidden Triumphs, which require this cookie to be baked and turned in. So please keep that in mind if you are going for all of the triumphs.
That one is really hard to swallow because I've got all mine done, so I can't get any. I don't know if I'll be able to get the Burnt Edge Transit Triumph now.
What is the Triumph? Do you know? I meant to look at this in Destiny, and I forgot to do it.
I don't know because I think it's a secret triumph. I think it's hidden, so I can't see it even if I go in there. And dude, this one sucks.
Yeah.
Because if you were able to, if you were able to get through all of them and get them done, now you might not be able to get that triumph. That one's a tough pill to swallow. Keep an eye on that one, guys and girls. When you're going through all that stuff, as you're collecting all the ingredients, make sure you're cooking up a bunch of burnt edge transits just so you have as many or however many you need. Because once you complete all the recipes, you're not going to have access to that anymore, and that's brutal.
Yeah. Let me take a quick peek here. Let's see if we can figure out what this triumph entails.
Doing some sleuthing, are you?
Doing some sleuthing.
Wow, cool. So what's going on in the chat, guys? How's Tipsy? Where you at on the Dawning, man? I love Tipsy. Tipsy's always got some good stuff to say.
Tipsy's good people, man.
Jacob hasn't said much lately. I think he feels bad for trashing me for not getting any good exotics, so I'm glad he's taking a break. I'm going to go up a little bit. Here's what Flaro said. I'm going to go back to Destiny 1 just for fun. Who wants to join me? And it was crickets. So sorry, Flaro, but I don't think there's too many people interested in that. But actually, I'd still like to go back to play Destiny 1 because we still have to get the Flawless Raider. That still eludes many of us. I think that's the only one Bender needs for the Platinum.
Yeah.
So hopefully at some point we can go back into Destiny 1 and knock out the Flawless Raider because that is something we definitely want to do.
Yeah. I can't find the Triumph right now, so we'll look into that a little bit further. But yeah, just keep that in mind. If you are going for all of the Triumphs associated with the Dawning, which I'm going to be doing, I was able to do them all for Festival of the Lost. I do want to try to take care of them for the Dawning as well. So I'm going to need to look a little bit further into what this Triumph entails. Unearned or unclaimed triumphs for the Dawning will be removed when this event ends. Players should claim all triumphs before the Dawning ends on January 1st. Please keep that in mind as well. You would not want to go through all the trouble of completing these triumphs and then not activate them in your character and then have them lost to the ether forever.
Right.
Pursuit inventory space. It is recommended that players have open space available in their pursuit and consumables inventory to receive new quests and items for the Dawning. Some items received for the Dawning may not go to the Postmaster if players have insufficient inventory space and will be lost. This is similar to what we talked about a few minutes ago. When Dawning items are already claimed, we are investigating player reports that some Dawning items in the Winter Drift engram are showing as claimed, even if the player has not yet found to receive them. I have not come across this yet. The Dawning Cheer Sparrow will not have a lore tab until Destiny 2 update 2.1.3. To keep that in mind, if you dove down into that bad boy and you wanted to read the lore on it, fear not, a fix is coming. You will see that lore in the future here. And also in regards to that Sparrow, players will only be able to pick up Glimmer dropped by the Dawning Cheer Sparrow if they have completed the Dawning milestone for Eva Levante. So keep that in mind as well. Other than that, there's a couple of issues with Forsaken and Season of the Forge. Nothing too huge here that we need to dwell on. So we will move on from that, Brent. That's gonna do it, man. That's gonna do it for this episode of Tower Talk. Unless there's something else you gotta get off your chest.
No. I feel like this was a good conversation. Not a lot going on in the TWAB, and I expect there'll be even less next week. I feel like next week, because I believe next week they mentioned will be the final TWAB of the year.
Will be the final one of the year. Yes.
So I'm not, it's kind of slowing things down. People are grinding, and I think Bungie's more focused on cleaning up these issues before they do go on their holiday break. They want to get these things ironed out, so they got their heads down and they're working on that stuff. Man, Tipsy in the chat, he says, brothers, I've been busy with work. I haven't even touched it. I'm upset with myself. Man, I'm sorry to hear that, dude, but don't worry, you'll have time. Hopefully you got some free time coming up with the holidays, and you'll be able to hop in there and play. Jacob says, I'm doing the blind well. Shut up, Brent. Go get your black talon. I can't get anything, Jacob. But
the Dawning's still young, Tipsy, so you got plenty of time to get in here and give it a whirl.
Tipsy actually has the happy ending, the light at the end of the tunnel. 2-week vacay after tomorrow, and I'll be heavy grinding. Go get it, buddy.
Oh man, 2 weeks. Very nice.
Vacay. That's
very
wonderful.
Nice.
That's beautiful. Good for you, man. I don't get exotics or 2-week vacay. Man, I'm just a loser. But no, man, I'm excited. It was a good show. There's a lot of stuff to talk about this week, but I just want to get back into the Forge, dude. I just want to grind the Forge and start getting a lot of those Black Armory weapons.
Yeah. So we may not have the 2 weeks off that Tipsy has, but we've got some time coming off. We've got the holidays, and playing Destiny and grinding through these Forges and the Black Armory is definitely at the top of my to-do list. So I'm very excited about that. Looking forward throughout the holidays to playing some more Destiny with you, man. We'll probably have. I'm assuming we'll do one more Tower Talk next week after Bungie updates us before they go off on holiday. Then we'll be on a holiday break of our own. We'll come back strong in the new year with Tower Talk, and we'll get back into the swing of things But in the meantime, we'll get our kicks in over the holidays and
Oh yeah.
play as much Destiny as possible.
Yes, sir.
So for Brent, I'm Ben. Follow us on Twitter at the Short Pause. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, hit the bell so you always know when we go live. Typically we do Tower Talk on Thursday night. Obviously it's Friday and at a different time than we normally do. So that's why you want to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, because you never know when we're gonna pop up. You never know when we're gonna pop up on your YouTube feed. But typically we shoot for Thursdays at 10 p.m. Eastern. That's kind of our normal time slot. But occasionally we'll do stuff like this and just kind of randomly show up throughout the week. So make sure you hit that damn bell. That's what I'm getting at here.
Yes, sir.
So other than that, that's gonna do it for this week. Thanks everybody for watching. Actually, Brent, before we get out of here, one more shout out to everybody that was in the chat today.
Oh, man, obviously Badass Lord Tipsy, may the light be with you as well, sir. Jacob was in there giving me the business as usual. We had Flaro in there. We had VOX Insanity in there as well. So really appreciate you guys stopping by during the live show. If you're watching this show on demand, we appreciate your support there as well. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If there's something we talked about that you want to comment on, shout outs in the comments, man. We love to hear from you. We'll always respond. And we love talking Destiny 2. So, again, we appreciate your support. We love putting this show on. We love talking Destiny 2, but we love talking about Destiny 2 with our friends as well.
Absolutely. So we will see you Guardians out on the battlefield. Thanks again to everybody for watching. Have a good evening. See you guys later.
See you guys.